team, not coming at you from another solo overnighter in the woods, but it is early in the morning and it is cold, and today I have a secret, not so secret, military survival trick that you can use in order to stay warm this winter and all winters to come. This is something that I learned back in the 90s, and I should know a thing or two about military secrets. After all, I was born in Roswell, New Mexico. Now, Brent recently has shared a lot of content, and he's shared a lot of content over the years about winter survival and how to stay warm and some different considerations. And he had this to say about how cold that it is. Brent, take it away.
What's going on, guys? Brent031, and it's winter time. It's cold as fuck.
Now, of course, those are his words, not mine. I'm gonna do one better, right? For all we know, Brent was standing in front of a dadgum green screen in 80-degree weather, wearing all that hoo-yah stuff, right? And we ain't out here cupcaking and lollipopping. As you can see, I don't have a lot on. This is it, but it is cold, and I'm gonna show you exactly how cold that it is. I'm gonna give you a number to work off of, right? So let's pull up the old phone. And boom, 8 stinking degrees, right? 8 degrees. That's cold. So how can I stay warm when it's 8 degrees without wearing all kinds of outer layers and crazy under layers and electric gear and thermal gear and beanies and parkas and all this stuff, right? How can I do that? Well, there's a couple considerations here. And let's just go ahead and get to the bottom line up front. How I am staying warm right now is this little layer right there, right? That little layer right there, that old field jacket liner, right? This is something that I've used going back to the 90s all the way up until last year. Be walking around post, it's 20 degrees out, it's snowing, everybody's freezing their asses off, and they're wearing 50 layers of gear. They look like the kid from Christmas Story, right? Can't put his arms down, and here Top is walking through a formation, walking around post, going through the motor pools, out in the field, and I'm wearing nothing but my blouse. And like, Top, how are you staying warm? And when I show them, like, oh my God, this is awesome. But too many of those dudes, just like so many dudes out there today, look down on older gear, right? They look down on Vietnam era gear or camo. Like, use what's effective. Use what you have. And the great thing about the field jacket liner is they are almost literally a dime a dozen. You can go on to eBay and find them. You can go to military surplus store and find them. You can buy them new on Amazon, and there's all kinds of dudes making basically, you know, smoking jackets that are a little bit fancier. But they're not expensive. And this one layer is all that it takes in order to stay warm with a couple considerations. The first one, as you can tell, there is no wind that's blowing around, right? There's no epic wind chill that's cutting through the layers that I have on. The second one is that there is no, heavy precipitation. There's no humidity in the air to speak of, right? So I don't need a whole lot to stay warm. What I can do is move around in what I'm wearing, right? If you start wearing all kinds of 5 layers, under layers, and parkas and beanies and all this kind of crazy hoo-yah gear, and you start moving, you're going to overheat. Once you start overheating, your body's going to begin to perspire. And perspiring in the cold weather is probably a #1 killer, right? Because it's going to make you even more susceptible to being a cold weather injury, okay? Does that make sense? If you've known somebody who's had a cold weather injury, or if you've had, feel free to share that experience down in the comments below. That way we can continue to learn from each other. Something else I want to talk to you about here in a few minutes that's probably even more important than this super secret, not so secret survival trick. If you love the field jacket liner, I definitely want to hear about it, man. Or if you hate it, I want to hear about it. Whatever it is, down in the comments below. So, but having some additional warming layers, right? Not too far away from me, I do have some jackets. I obviously have some lighting here, so I'm near a building where if I needed to, I could get warm. But when you're out moving through the woods, you need to make sure that you think about how I pack my gear so that I know where these warming layers are at, so that in the event that I stop, I can add on a warming layer or an outer shell if it begins to rain or snow, and I can keep some of that precipitation off of my body, because again, you don't want to get wet. And use this as an opportunity also to tell you, if you are looking for some quality cold weather gear, make sure that you go and head over to winterwarfare.com. It's probably the only veteran-owned and operated business here in the United States whose sole purpose in life it is to make and sell and distribute quality tactical cold weather gear. And if you find yourself in sub-zero temps and you're having to sustain and endure in that, then wearing a simple field jacket liner is obviously not going to cut it, right? So I was talking to a friend of mine, good compadre, good pal, this week about life. And something I want to share and hear your thoughts down below about. Life is a lot like a lawn. And we have these weeds that pop up into our lives. They're toxins. And these toxins can range anything from, financial distress, a relational battle that we're dealing with, a spiritual battle that we may be going through. It could be a drug addiction, a porn addiction. It could be infidelity. It could be any number of things, right? And these things, they pop up and they rob us from having a beautiful life. But too many times we take the wrong approach. We want the short, easy answer. So we pick up the Roundup and we begin using toxins to fight toxins. If we step back in time and we realize that there are two powerful, key, underrated tools to build a healthy yard, and that's water and fertilizer, right? And you don't even need a ton of fertilizer. You just need to water your yard with nutrients that will feed into your mind, your body, your soul. Most notably, these things are going to be in the form of community, right? The people that we hang around with, the habits that we have, the things that we invest our time and our thoughts into. And I hope that you are in a place where you have good friends and good pals and a good family that are feeding into your life. And I hope that you're investing in the right places, doing the right things. If you run around simply thinking that you can pick up some weed killer and kill a weed, you're probably going to have another weed come up. But a healthy yard by itself eradicates weeds. It keeps them and pushes them out, right? By having good root system. And it takes time and it takes effort. And it's okay, when weeds come up and we go pull them and we get that crap out of our lives. And the beautiful thing is, and this is what a lot of dudes don't appreciate, especially when they're younger. We look, younger guys, and even myself, I've gone through this myself. We look at some other people out there and we say, I want what they have. I want to work 20 years and then to retire to Florida and have all the stuff. The truth is that those experiences are few and far between, right? Do they happen? Yes. Some people make it rich, they make it big, they get all the stuff. Of course, all those people end up on the National Enquirer. Do they even sell that anymore? Right? They end up on the tabloids for having a failed life, a failed relationship, failed businesses, whatever. But it's folks like us who go through the struggle each and every day, who at the end of it have beautiful and badass stories to tell. And what's even more is when those around us that are near and dear to us, or even some strangers that we happen to come across, are going through a hard time, we have the experience to help them out. Don't take that for granted, man. those badass stories, those trials, those tribulations, all the time, and the blood, the sweat, and the tears of pulling those weeds out of your life. There's meaning in that. And one day there will be beauty in that for you. Team, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below as we continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
What's going on, guys? Brent 31, and it's wintertime. It's cold as fuck. And in order to be an effective infantryman during this time of year, you got to have the right gear and equipment. So head over to winterwarfare.com. He's a friend of mine. He's a U.S. Army infantryman veteran, and he's a real patriot. All right, and he'll get you set up with what you need. And in the words of Bill Stoker, that's Stoker-matic, it'll help generate tears of economy.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!
Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.